What it do? BDE, best damn evaluations, BTTM presentation. Yours truly beats that thing. Live and in attendance. Doing a draft rankings video for the 2025 draft, March 28, 2025. We're gonna do running backs. Um, deep class. I got I think a top 21 running back list here. Let's see. Gotta get rid of that. Top 25 list right here. Bring the face cam back. A lot of people, I guess, are comparing this to, what is it, 2018, 2017, whatever draft that was that had a ton of good running backs. Fournette, McCaffrey. Yeah, there was a lot of them in that one, honestly. I can't think of all of them. Fournette, McCaffrey in the first round. The second round. Good God. Let me just look it up. So I get them all confused. That ain't it. So yeah. 2000. That's the wrong year. That ain't it. That was Saquon Barkley in there. 2017. Oh. Remembering what it used to be. Leonard Fournette. Christian McCaffrey. Is there another first rounder? No. But then we go Dalvin Cook. That's right. Joe Mixon. Golly. Bangers, dog. Just bangers. Alvin Kamara. Oh, yeah. So Hunt was in that class, too. Kareem Hunt, Alvin Kamara. Dante Foreman, who didn't make a Pro Bowl, but still pretty good. Cooper Kupp was in that draft. Cooper Kupps was up in that draft. GMs was messing up that draft. James Conner, that's right. Le'Veon Bell was causing that disturbance. They over to him. Tariq Cohen, Joe Williams. Who's the late round guy? There was like a 5th or 6th rounder. Brian Hill, no. Jeremy McNichols, no. T.J. Logan, no. Aaron Jones, that's the one I was thinking of. At a UTEP. Elijah McGuire. Aaron Jones is the one. Is there an undrafted guy? Paul Rickard. So yeah, I mean, you had some studs in that one. So what was it? Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt, and Aaron Jones. This one very well could be that. I think there's some Alvin Kamaras and Kareem Hunts. I think there's Aaron Jones in here. I think there's a Karen Williams in here. Maybe even an Aaron Foster, an undrafted guy who could end up leading the league in rushing. But I don't think there's a McCaffrey or a Fournette. I don't think there's a top 10 prospect. Mainly due to the depth. If there's that much depth, I mean, let's look at it first of all. Let's look at. So we got these dudes. Christian McCaffrey played 3 years. He had 2,000 yards rushing in 2015. He had 1,613 touchdowns in 2016. I think got a little injured, missed a couple games. He also had 645 yards receiving in 2015. So like the same total yards basically as Ashton Magenti. Ashton Ginty. 1,000 return yards too. I forgot he was such a good returner. I do remember he took like a punt for a touchdown in the Rose Bowl or something, or Pac-12 championship, and I think he got called back. Ran a 4.48, 6.57 3-cone, a 4.22 20-yard shuttle. That 20-yard shuttle is faster than damn near anyone in this class. Taj Brooks actually had the fastest shuttle, 406. That 3-cone is faster than anyone else, too. So, very impressive on those two stats. The jumps are really good, too. 37.5 inch vertical, 10 foot broad jump. 5, 11 and a quarter, 202 pounds. 4.48 40. 152 10-yard split. With the production that I guess I just said, too, especially that 2015 year, it was insane. I'll go to, I guess, the 2023 draft, where you had 2 in the first round, Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs, basically top 12. Bijan went number 8 overall. Bijan was a 5-star recruit, first of all. I think out of Arizona, right? Yeah, Tucson, Arizona. Had 1,580 yards rushing, 6-yard average, 18 touchdowns. Also had 314 yards receiving in 2022. Went to the combine, ran a 4.46, a 1.52, 10-yard split, 37-inch vertical, 10.4 broad jump, 5'11", 215. So measuring at 215 and ran a 4.46 and jumped 37 inches. And if that was his player weight, which they do have in 215, he did all that at 215 pounds at UT. Gibbs didn't quite have the statistics. He was also a 5-star recruit, although on here they say he was a high 4-star. From what I remember, he was a 5-star on a couple databases or whatever. Started at Georgia Tech. Didn't do great at Georgia Tech, but was a combo guy. He was a good receiver. Had 300 yards receiving as a freshman, 465 yards receiving as a sophomore, 460 yards rushing as a freshman, only in 7 games, and then 746 yards rushing as a sophomore in 12 games. Then he goes to Alabama. He gets 926 yards rushing in 12 games, 444 yards receiving on 44 receptions. And he had some returns too, mainly at Georgia Tech. Sophomore year, 23 returns, 589 yards, 1 touchdown. He runs a 4.36 40, 1.52 10-yard split. Not a great jumper, 33.5 inch vertical, 5'9" and 1/8, 200 pounds is what he measured in at the combine. So those numbers aren't eye-popping. I think it's more what you saw as opposed to what he produced. It was kind of a running back committee at Alabama, I believe. If I can pull that up. Curious if I can. Still recruiting? Oh, this is departures. Okay. Good God, they're giving everything. Walk-ons. Holy shit. You're just giving everything. There's a Paul Hornig Award winner, I guess. Preseason All SEC, okay. Preseason All SEC. This is taking a long time. I apologize. So Jason McKellen, Wardell Williams, Trey Sanders. Let's go look at Jason McKellen. Jason McKellen had 655 yards, a 5.8 yard average. I don't know. I remember Wardell Williams running a whole bunch. 250 yards, that's it, yeah. In 2022. Jalen Milroe wasn't playing, it was Bryce Young, and he didn't run, so they didn't have a mobile quarterback. Oh, Tyler Harrell. I remember hearing about him. Where's he at? Undrafted, 2024. Yeah, sounds about right. But yeah, it's kind of running back by committee over there. Maybe that contributed to the poor stats. I don't really know. I don't want to get too caught up on that. I'm just trying to shed some light onto certain classes when running backs were taken in the first round. Also in that class, though, it wasn't near as deep. I do want to point that out. Like, you had 2 go in the top 12, and the next running back taken was Zach Charbonnet, 52nd overall. And Zach Charbonnet originally went to Michigan as basically like a 5-star recruit. Well, he was number 3 running back by 247, number 4 running back by Rivals, number 6 by ESPN. Spent 2 years in Michigan, had a good freshman year, and then I guess because of COVID or whatever. But he also lost the job. He played in 5 games, but only ran for 124 yards. So he was healthy, I guess. He had 726 and 11 touchdowns as a freshman. Anyways, he goes to UCLA, and he has back-to-back 1,000-yard years. He has a 7-yard average in his senior year and 14 touchdowns. Had 13 touchdowns as a junior. He also had 321 yards receiving, so it looks like a 3-down back. Runs a 4.53 at 214 pounds. 4.46 20-yard shuttle and a 7.16 3-cone, 37-inch vertical, 10'2" broad with 18 reps on the bench at 225. Not horrible, but I mean not great. When you look at this, Omarion Hampton, faster, jumps better, same bench. Quinshon Judkins, faster, jumps better, didn't do a bench. Travion Henderson, faster, jumps better. Dylan Sampson, faster. DJ Giddens, faster, jumps higher. No bench. What was his 20-yard shuttle again? 4.46. So Giddens had the same shuttle. Omarion Hampton and Giddens were better. And he did that at 214 pounds. Omarion Hampton's 221. Rocket Sanders is 217. He ran the same 20-yard shuttle. What the 3-cone? What was the 3-cone? I think his 3-cone was faster. Yeah, 7.16. He got a 7.39. Didn't jump quite as good. Didn't bench quite as much. Giddens was 212. Quinshon Judkins was 221. So a couple of these dudes are as heavy or heavier, putting up similar stats. Danny Martinez ran a 4.51 and jumped, close to a little bit shorter, 37 inch. I think is what Charbonnet got. What was the 10-yard split for Charbonnet? Let's get that 10-yard split. 1.54. So very similar for Rocket Sanders and Danny Martinez. You got Taj Brooks. It's basically same 40, same weight, same 10-yard split, faster 20-yard shuttle, faster 3-cone, jumping a little less. I mean, Taj Brooks is almost exactly like Zach Charbonnet. For back, Zach Charbonnet was taller. He was 6.5. Was 6 feet and 6'1.5" inch, I guess. It's hard to add a half without having an inch. It's 6 foot 0.5 inches. Let's move this face cam. Montrell Johnson similar. So you got dudes testing very similar. Then when you look at production, 1,300, 7-yard average, pretty good. But you just there's like an ovary fucking advertisement. That was a distraction. I'm over here seeing like fallopian tubes and shit. Let's expand this a little bit. So we got Omarion Hampton. He had 1,600 yards, a 5.9-yard average. You got Cam Scatterbill up in here. He didn't test. So I don't really want to use him too much. 1,700 yards, 5.8-yard average. Taj Brooks, 1,500 yards, 17 touchdowns, 5.3-yard average. The 7-yard average is definitely standing out a little bit, but Giddens had 1,300 at 6.6, only 7 touchdowns though. Rashard Smith, 1,300, 5.7. RJ Harvey had a 6.8-yard average, 1,577 yards. My left contact's bothering me a little bit. Apologize. Travion Henderson had a 7-yard average. Where's Judkins? There's Judkins. Judkins had a 5.5-yard average. I think the Singleton had a 6.4-yard average. He went back to school. I was excited about him in this draft. Some people were doubting him, though. I thought he was going to be legit. They got him listed as 227, 6', 227. I'm not sure if he is, and he's such a good receiver. 375 yards this past year, 300 yards the year before. 5 receiving touchdowns this year. Can't talk about him though. I will say he's my running back 1 in 2026. He's the only reason I really want draft picks in Dynasty in 2026, at least right now. I'm sure that'll change. But I'm not sure the quarterback class is going to be good. I'm not really sold on the wide receiver class, considering Nick Harbor and Zachariah Branch haven't really done anything. Deuce Robinson, Evan Stewart, none of them have really done anything. Although Evan Stewart probably will be in it because he'll be a senior. He was supposed to be in this class and he went back to school. I imagine he's coming out next year. Barian Brown, Dane Key, Nick Anderson also. Barian Brown I'm excited about, considering he's like 6'1" and should run a 4.2. Getting way off track though. Yeah, Nick Singleton would have been, probably one of my top 5 running backs, possibly top 3. I could have had him ahead of Judkins, but without him declaring and testing, it's kind of hard to say, especially since Judkins tested way better than I expected. But essentially what I'm doing all this for is to show the depth of this class and how, even though I got Ashton Jeanty number 1, and I got a 93 grade on him, which I guess shows a late first. Yeah, 88 to 93 is B tier, and that's late first, early third. Since he is 93, that shows late first. In comparison to overall prospects, did I write him down? I did not. I probably need to write him down. Because I have, like, LaDaine Thompson 99, Saquon Barkley 100. Leonard Fournette was a 97. Adrian Peterson was 100. Jonathan Taylor, that's recent. That's a 99. Bijan Robinson, that's recent. That was 98. Ashton Jeanty probably would rank I have Saquon and Bijan higher than him. I have Leonard John Taylor higher than him, obviously. He'd probably be the 4th. He could still be a 98, though, even though I like Bijan better. Then we'll go 97, though. Just because Bijan tested first of all, and he tested well. And he tested at, like, what was he? Fucking, like, 215 pounds or something? 215 pounds. Ran a 4.46, 152, 10-yard split, jumped well. He had good receiving production, although Jeanty did too. He had good rushing, although Jeanty did too. He just did it against better competition and stuff. That's all I can really say about that. I mean, 2022, Texas played Alabama. A pretty good Oklahoma team. That's predicted finish. I'm trying to see where they're fucking... So they played Kansas State, Oklahoma State, TCU. All those teams were ranked. They ended up playing Washington in a bowl game, and that was ranked. So they played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 top 15 teams. If these are final rankings, I don't know if these are the rankings when they faced them. Oklahoma State was number 11, Kansas State was number 13, TCU was number 4, and I do think they made the playoff that year, so number 4 sounds about right. And Washington was number 12. Like Jeanty didn't have that schedule. I think he also missed again because he was injured, I feel like. Maybe he was healthy that whole season. He had a tough time staying healthy. I remember that. But it's also just the gap. I mean, after Gibbs, man, Charbonnet was definitely a tier or 2 below. And then after that, you got Kendre Miller, who's definitely a tier below. And what after Kendre Miller, who was it? Kendre Miller was early in the 3rd. 71st overall in the 3rd round. And then you had Tajay Spears, 81st. And then you had A-Chain, 84th. And Bigsby, 88th, too. I liked Bigsby and A-Chain. They were probably my running back 3 and 4. I did like Kendre Miller, though, too. In hindsight, that class doesn't look that good. But on my historical best draft prospects ever, just to give an idea of how my ratings list or my draft guide criteria for tiers and grading description. The lack of value for the running position has changed, so he doesn't have a real 97. It's almost like inflation or something. Like it's an inflation adjusted. Because I have LaDainian Thompson, I have Adrian Peterson, I have Reggie Bush and Edgerrin James. So I want to rank them historically compared to those guys and how those guys, I guess, graded. Even though I don't give a running back a 97 grade, because I don't think a running back should be drafted in the top 10 or 15 of any draft, just due to the ability to find running backs. I mean, like Alvin Kamara or Kareem Hunt in the 3rd round, like Karen Williams in like the 5th round, like A-Chain in the 3rd round. Bucky Irvin was in the 4th round, I think, this past year. Tyron Tracy was in the 5th round this past year. I mean, it's so easy to find running backs, and I mean, this draft kind of proves my point perfectly. Because, I mean, shit, I got how many guys? So 82, 22 running backs have an 82 grade or higher. 82 is 3rd to 5th round. So I got 22 running backs going in the 5th round or earlier. I have 10 running backs going in the early 3rd round or earlier, because 88 to 93 is B tier, and that's late 1st, early 3rd. And that's where the top 10 all rank, with Genty being 93, which is like late 1st, all the way down to Damian Martinez at 88. And, even Ollie Gordon and Devin Neal being borderline could still go early 3rd. And even at 87 overall, they're still in the 3rd round. 87, 86, so maybe even like Cam Scatterboot, Jalen Blue, Tootin. I could have roughly 15 running backs with 3rd round grades or better. And that just shows this class overall, how I feel about it. The talent, it's not just how statistically they did, it's how they tested, it's how three-dimensional they are. They're not three-dimensional, but multi-talented in the passing game, as receivers, as running backs, as gadget players, as returners, some of them. I mean, they just check a lot of boxes. They're going to help teams a lot of different ways. They produced in college a lot of different ways. A lot of them were significant players for their team. And some were late risers. Like Trevor Etienne, I was not that high on him, and then he tested well, and now he's 17 overall. He would not even been in my top 25, I don't think, before the combine. I had no idea. I didn't see it on film personally. So, Nate Frazier was a true freshman. He looked better than him. Now, Nate Frazier was like a 5-star, and he was my number 1 running back in this past recruiting class. So, I'm not going to hold that against him, because, some freshmen are really fucking good and hit the ground running. Maurice Clarett, Trayvon Henderson, Nick Singleton, Bijan Robinson, so on, so on. I didn't like Etienne at Florida either, but, that's not the perfect fucking evaluation, because Florida was just awful. I mean, they couldn't get much going. They didn't have really a great offensive line. They didn't have a great offense in general. They were behind a lot, lose a lot of games. It's kind of hard to establish a run or stay loyal or consistent with the run when you're playing from behind. He did get to show himself as a receiver a little bit and his versatility, but I did think at Georgia maybe he would do a little better. I still didn't come in the season having him super high ranked, though. But I was intrigued. To be honest with you, I actually kind of thought Nate Frazier would take the job. I just really liked Nate Frazier, and I felt like Etienne was a little overrated. But, man, he tested great. And if 4.42 40, 151 10-yard split, 35-inch vertical, 10.4 broad, 15 reps on the bench at 225 when he was under 200 pounds. Plus, 5'9", 200 pounds. That's a good build. 20.7 years old at the time of the draft. One of the youngest. I mean, Quentin Allen at 20.6, I think, and then you got Dylan Simpson at 20.5. Those are the youngest, I think. Everyone else is over 21. Those are the only ones under 21. So, maybe I'll take that into account. But overall, I didn't like him near as much as his brother at Clemson and now with the Jags. But Georgia wasn't that good either, so I don't think that's a great evaluation. I mean, Xavier Truss might get drafted. Jared Wilson, Tate Ratledge, I guess were good offensive linemen, but they couldn't really pass the ball. Beck wasn't that great. And yeah, I don't know. It's just there's some weird evaluations going on. With running backs, sadly, I feel like the combine's a pretty good barometer. I mean, obviously you need to have vision. You need to have lateral quickness and balance, especially contact balance. You need to have lower body strength, the ability to run through arm tackles and run through small holes and maintain your momentum and your balance. I feel like I saw decent balance from him. I didn't really see a lot of burst or explosion though. Like I said, he didn't look like he was running a 4. I could have sworn he was going to run like a 4.55. He did not really look that explosive, that 151 10-yard split. I mean, but he measured it and he tested very well compared to his peers. It's not like I got him super high, 17th overall. He has a fucking C tier grade. Basically, should go probably in the 4th round, I guess. But yeah, that's just an example of just someone who maybe was a riser because of the combine. Tootin was too, I guess, although he did do good at Virginia Tech. But running a 4.32 40, sub 23 mile per hour though. I mean, there was 1, 2, 3, 4 running backs. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs that actually had a higher top mile per hour speed, or at least over 23 miles per hour. For him to run a 4.32 and not top 23 miles per hour is surprising, but 149 10-yard split, that was amongst the best. The 20-yard shuttle was not great though. That's one of the more important drills, I'd say, for a running back. The ability to stop and start and change direction and maintain speed and then burst, acceleration, quickness, possibly ability to make people miss in a phone booth. That was really what set Bijan Robinson apart from everyone else, and Jahmyr Gibbs. Aside from being the complete back, the 3-down variety workhorse. Maybe not so much Gibbs, but his receiving ability and his home run ability added factors. And he did get a decent volume at Georgia Tech, even though he didn't do it at Alabama. And so far with the Lions, he has proven he could be that. But his receiving ability, return ability, and just the home run ability, the big play ability out in space, with a play caller and offensive mind like Ben Johnson, yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs definitely warranted the 12th pick, and he's done nothing but prove that again and again so far through 2 seasons. And you would think that would be an argument for me to justify taking it, but I don't see it in this class personally. That's 2 different classes. Those are different teams, different situations. And it's mainly due to the depth of this class. Like, I don't think the gap between Ashton, like I said, I got 10 guys in the same tier. Like, Ashton Jeanty is in B tier, which is 88 to 93. Late 1st to early 3rd round, pick or value, grade. Daniel Martinez has it at 88. You got Ollie Gordon and Devin Neal at 87, which, they're probably right on the cusp of 88, because it's really hard to split hairs between them all. They all tested about the same. They all had great film. They all seem to be 3-down guys. They all got pretty good hands and receiving ability. Some obviously better than others, or some more versatile or capable than others. Some maybe they can just be an outlet and catch it and make some dudes miss in space. Others can actually like run downfield routes and legit be a receiver, kind of like what Gibbs and Bijan Robinson do. I would say Jaden Blue can do that. Um, Rashard Smith can do that. I kind of want to say DJ Giddens can do that. Maybe Dylan Sampson too. I didn't see a lot of Dylan Sampson though, but his quarterback wasn't a good passer. But Travion Henderson could probably do that. We saw him take it 70 yards right before halftime against UT. Like, what the fuck was going on in that play? That was fucking annoying. But I guess we'll start at 25. We're 30 minutes in. Phil Maffa, he hasn't tested, so I don't know. But he looked really good for Clemson. 6'1", 234 pounds. I'm curious how he would test. Had a good career overall. My sleeper, Antario Brown of Northern Illinois. He didn't perform at Northern Illinois Pro Day, but I do think he's going to have a special Pro Day. There's going to be some kind of camp or event where he's going to have scouts there and he's going to run and perform. But yeah, he got injured this past season. He could have went pro last season. He's 5'10", 220 pounds, and supposedly they say he might run a 4.3. He's been clocked close to like 23 miles per hour and stuff, and that puts him right around the 4.3, low 4.4 range at 220 pounds. He is a decent receiver, explosive, home run threat. He's my sleeper. No one's talking about him, but I got him on the list. Maybe could go higher, but he's probably not gonna get drafted. I could see him going undrafted, but I'm not worried about that. He'll get a shot. A lot of dudes do. Mostert, Jordan Mason, Aaron Foster, Eckler. I mean, dudes get their shot occasionally. Eckler might have been drafted, actually. I don't remember. Philip Lindsay, James Robinson, whatever. Yeah, there's gonna be dudes get their shot. If you're good, and I feel like he'll get a shot. So I'm still gonna rank him 24th ahead of some dudes who might get drafted, but I don't care. Donovan Edwards, I really didn't want to put him up here, but kind of like Ed Etienne, he tested unbelievable. Now, he looked pretty good in 2023, but he got injured, so he had to come back to school. Maybe he was still recovering from that injury. I didn't like what I saw this year. A lot of people have his teammate Mullings higher than him, but Mullings has yet to test. And Donovan Edwards being 22.1 years old, running a 4.44 with a 1.51 10-yard split. Also the jumps, that kind of shows how healthy the knee is and the ligament. 23 reps on the bench too, more than anyone else. He caught me by surprise. I did not expect him to test that well. I do remember he was good and he was explosive in 2022 and 2023. He did not show it in 2024, but sometimes it takes a while to recover from an ACL, and I didn't skyrocket him because of what I saw. And Michigan's offense was awful. They couldn't really throw the ball. But like I said, his teammate looked better than him at times. So it's hard to really know what to do with that. But I got him 23. Jarquez Hunter, I like him a lot. This is where it gets difficult. This is where it's so close. I mean, I got 381s, I got 282s, I got 283s, I got 384s. Like, you're splitting hairs. It's so close between these prospects. You're trying to watch the film and see how their burst. Do they have vision? Can they make quick cuts? Are they efficient with no wasted movement, in and out of breaks, without losing momentum, without losing burst or speed? Then top end speed, home run ability, catching ability. Really make people miss out in space. Ability to run through arm tackles and fall forward. You're trying to just check all these boxes and see all this, but like by having different offensive schemes, different offensive lines, different opponents, it's really it gets subjective at times. I can't lie. I mean, stats are objective, combine measurables are objective, but they're not like a perfect science. I try to put a story to it, and that's where the film comes in. And yeah, sometimes it shows up on film, sometimes it doesn't. Jarvis Hunter looks good on film on a bad team on Auburn. He carried Auburn. He performed really well. He's statistically, without a lot of NFL talent around him, did really well against some really talented teams. Seems like to do a solo dolo act quite often this year. And yeah, I like him. He didn't test great. I was hoping he'd test a little bit better. I feel like originally I had him kind of up there with Rashard Smith, but he had 1,200 yards rushing with a 6.4 yard average, 8 touchdowns. Even the year before, they had 909 yards at a 5.7 yard average. 67 long as a freshman. He had a 94 yard long. Had 224 yards receiving as a sophomore in 2022. Didn't get the volume this past year. Well, he had 21 receptions. I guess he just didn't get downfield. Only 155 yards. 18 yard long. So, and that could just be lack of blocking, lack of scheme, whatever. But one of his, 6.4 yards rushing is pretty good. Had 130 against A&M in a 4 overtime game and 3 touchdowns. He had 100. Well, no, fuck that. He had 278 against Kentucky. That was an outlier for sure. That was a go get him moment. But his averages were good against everyone. A lot of these though they lost. It's hard to really say, but I like the player. Montrell Johnson Jr. There, the guy that played for Florida. Did not like him. Didn't think he was anything. I saw him on the combine list. I saw him on some draft lists. I was like, yeah, this dude's just gonna be an undrafted free agent. And then he tested through the roof at 212 pounds, and I was like, okay, let's go back and watch, some film. Let's go back. Let's look at the stats. Let's see who is this cat. What's going on with him? And he was better than I gave him credit for. He really was. Once again, it's hard for him to separate himself. It's hard to really tell where he should be ranked. But I did see, on film what I saw at the combine. He did possess some of that. Now, I am a fan of the true freshman that led them in rushing, Jaden Baugh. He is definitely on my Devy rankings. Another class of 27 monster with Nate Frazier, with Caden Durham, with Isaac Brown, Jared Gibson. You got Tatum. That 27 class, it's stacked at quarterback, it's stacked at wide receiver, and it's pretty fucking solid running back. And Jaden Baugh is just one of many. But yeah, he had 593 yards, second on the team behind Jaden Baugh, 5.9 yard average, 71 yard long. He had 236 yards receiving as a junior. He also had 800 yards as a junior and 800 yards as a freshman too. He had 12 touchdowns as a freshman, 10 touchdowns as a sophomore, 99 yards long as a freshman. Let's see who was that against, because that adds some context. Arkansas State. See, that's why I like to. Outside of that one, 42 yards was long. That was against Loyola Marymount. No, using University of Louisiana Monroe. 2022, he had a 62-yard long against South Florida. So sadly, he's not getting any of these longs. He had a 48-yard long against Georgia in 2023. 52-yard long against Florida State. 97 yards rushing and a touchdown. That was a good Florida State. That was the undefeated Florida State that got robbed of the playoff, I guess. 71-yard long against Miami this year. 65-yard long against Florida State again. So he had a couple breakaways this year. Definitely has home run ability. And I guess not a lot of tread on the tires considering he didn't get a lot of carries this year. I don't know what his true age is, but I guess it's close to 22 since he's a 4-year senior. But like I said, just tested insane. So I had to readjust. RJ Harvey could be higher on this list. He's like 25 years old, though. He's got a lot of tread on the tires. He tested great. He looks great on film. He has insane statistics. I'm kind of jeopardizing him because of his age, I guess. And UCF, the quality of competition, and it's hard to know. like I said, it just gets kind of subjective at times. I'm not gonna lie. He did what he could. Again, you can't control who you play, and he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he did nothing but perform, and performed very well. I mean, fucking sixth overall in rushing, 1,577 yards, 6.8 yard average, 80 long. He had 92 long in 2023. He's a 3-down back. He's got good receiving. He could be the Tyron Tracy of this draft, but just like Tyron Tracy, I like Tyron Tracy, but I didn't have Tyron Tracy highly rated. When I look at some of these dudes who are younger and tested roughly just as good. I mean, his 10-yard split was slow. His 20-yard shuttle wasn't amazing considering he's 5'8", 205 pounds. In a 4.34, you got fucking 6 foot, 212-pound Giddings doing that and better, and he had a better 10-yard split and almost the same 40. Now his top end speed was lower, 22.5 miles per hour compared to 23.07. And the jumps maybe didn't. Actually, he jumped better. So, who knows? RJ Harvey's probably too low, but I'm just giving some other people the benefit of the doubt. And he was a workhorse. He was force fed. He was pretty much all UCF had. They did have Kobe Hudson and I think another wide receiver who might go in the draft, but overall UCF wasn't great. And yeah, he carried them. They only have 4 years of college on here, but I feel like he was like in college 5 or 6 years. Let's see if we can find out. I feel like he was at a junior college or something. Oh, they got his age actually, 24 years old. His birthday was February 4th, so he'll be 24. 24.3, I guess, when the draft happens. He was at Virginia originally for 2019. So, redshirt at Virginia, didn't play. Then there's the 2020 season. 2021 he was injured and didn't play. Then 2022, 2023, and 2024. So 6 years of college, technically. They graduated in 2018 or 2019, I guess. Enrolled the fall of 2019 at Virginia. So he's definitely older. I thought he was close. I thought I heard he was going to be 25. 24 is still old as fuck, but maybe I can put him a little higher on the list. But yeah, that makes him the oldest. Cam Scott is the second oldest at 23.1. He's a whole year older than second oldest. There's Cam Scatterby. I don't know if that means anything. Probably doesn't, but yeah, I don't know. Jordan James didn't look that good. I'll be honest, last year I thought he looked better than Bucky Irving, and that's one reason why I slept on Bucky Irving, and then Bucky Irving didn't test great. And then Jordan James this year, I actually thought that someone else was maybe better than him, which is kind of funny and ironic, I guess. But let's see, who did they have on there? Was it Noah Whittington? Noah Whittington. I don't think Noah Whittington was better than him. Maybe it wasn't the same. Jordan Birch had one run for 36 yards. That's hilarious. That's awesome. I did not know that. I need to find that tape. Decent receiver. 3-down back. Young. 21.1 years old. Didn't test great, though, just like Bucky Irving. So I don't know what to make of that. Maybe Oregon running backs just don't test well. I have no idea. I really could have sworn there was someone else there that ran better than him. But yeah, 5.4 yard average. Not that's bad, but like some of these dudes have really good averages. I mean, the running backs are just really fucking efficient. 5-yard average used to be insane. Like in college, dudes didn't necessarily run 5 yards per carry. Let me look at this. Let's go 2015. You got Derrick Henry 5.6, Christian McCaffrey 6, Leonard Fournette 6.5. I guess I'm wrong. Ezekiel Elliott 6.3, Dalvin Cook 7.4. Damn. Let's go before that. 2009. Toby Gerhardt. I forgot about Toby Gerhardt. Yeah, is that Cam Scatterbo? 5.5 yard average. Ryan Matthews. Forgot about him too. 6.6 yard average. Deion Lewis. I do remember him. 5.5 yards. Mark Ingram 6.1. The Mike James, an Oregon guy, 6.7. So I don't know. I guess I'm wrong. Alfred Morris, Florida Atlantic. That was an undrafted or late round guy that ended up being a stud for a while. C.H. Spiller had 5.6. I don't know why. I just do not remember dudes having that kind of average. Ray Rice had a 5.4 yard average in 2006. Marshawn Lynch had a 6 yard average. Felix Jones, remember he was a first 7.6 yard average. They made him a first round pick, I think, to the Cowboys. Adrian Peterson, 5.4 yard average at Oklahoma. What's his career average? Stats, college, home. Yeah, 5.7 was his best, and that was his freshman year when he should have won the Heisman. He got robbed. I don't know if they thought he was going to be up for it again or something. They just didn't want to give a freshman the fucking Heisman. He was so much more important to that team than, who was it, Jason White that won it? I don't even fucking remember. It was so annoying. I'm mad because he's from Texas and he went to OU, but I don't know. I still love Adrian. There's not a lot of Oklahoma people I like. Adrian Peterson's one. For whatever reason, I don't know. I love Adrian Peterson. Palestine, Texas. Yeah, it was Jason White to get the Heisman. 3,200 yards passing, 35 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Adrian Peterson got robbed so hard. I mean, did he even lead the nation in fucking passing? I don't know. I can't see. He wasn't even close in yards. Well, I guess he was 9th in yards. He was 3rd in touchdowns and. Oh fuck, that don't work. Should be a minimum, dog. This dude had 1 completion. Trying to look at rating, that shit doesn't work. He had 9 picks. Brady Quinn had 10. I don't know. We're off track here. So, yeah, I don't know. Jordan James, 5 yard average, I guess, isn't that bad. Or maybe it is bad, I guess, is where I was going with that. 5.4 yard average, because apparently dudes have been running for 6 yards of carry last decade plus. The Quinn Allen, the youngest one, I guess. Dylan Sampson, my bad, is the youngest. He's second youngest. He's 6 foot, 204 pounds. He had his pro day. He didn't run. He jumped, and that was cool. I think he's still recovering from injury or something. That's why I didn't perform at the combine. That might be why he hasn't ran yet. Yeah, I think he's going to have a day also where he does run. But he's a great receiver. Supposed to be really explosive and fast. He only had a 4.5 yard average this year, 4.3 yard average the year before, but he had 521 yards receiving. He had 16 rushing touchdowns this year with 4 receiving touchdowns too. So he really did his work in the red zone or goal line situations. For a 200-pound guy, he, I guess, was powerful and was able to find the end zone. So that says something. And to get that many touchdowns and then have that kind of receiving volume, and the age, yeah, I fuck with it. I mean, there's not a lot of Syracuse offensive linemen getting drafted. Yeah, they got Rondé Gatson, they got Kyle McCord, they got is it Jason Meeks. They had some talent, but I feel like a lot of it was passing. I mean, Common did lead the nation in passing. So, and I saw a couple of their games. It was hard for them to get the run going. They didn't get a lot of push up front. I don't really like their scheme either. I'm not going to hold it against them. But, maybe he does move to wide receiver. I don't know. I mean, he's 6 foot. He has 10-inch hands. Decent jumping. If he is really fast and stuff and with that kind of receiving ability, maybe he does make a move to receiver. I don't know. He could be a sneaky pick. He could end up being a Jahmyr Gibbs if he is running 4.3 and stuff like some people say. Gibbs didn't jump great. 6 foot, maybe he's a little tall. I typically like 6 foot, but if I'm being honest, I don't think 6 foot running backs typically perform well. It's a 5'9", 5'10". Sub 6 foot usually does a little bit better. Lower center of gravity, typically better balance, better burst, better stop and go. A little, like I said, low center of gravity, so they can run through arm tackles. A little harder to bring down. Typically fall forward a lot easier, and they avoid injury a little bit more because their limbs are shorter, so there's less leverage. Typically, I would say. You're long and lanky. It's a lot of room, a lot of limb that can get caught or bent, and it's fuck, I don't remember what I was gonna say. But yeah, short guys typically do better. And coincidentally, there's a lot of 6 foot guys. Hampton, Judkins, Caleb Johnson, 6'1". Is he really 6'1"? I did not think he was 6'1". I actually thought he was like 5'10". Damn. Giddens, Sanders, Damian Martinez, Ollie Gordon. And Phil Moff is also 6'1". And then McQueen Allen at 6 foot. So it's actually a pretty tall class, surprisingly. A lot of my top dudes are tall. I wonder if that's going to come back to bite me. Curious about statistics on that. But anywho. Moving on, we talked about Trevor Etienne a little bit. If I had LeQuint Allen run, but also I hate his average, like I said. Let's see what Etienne's average was. If I find Etienne, I don't think it'd be easy to find because he didn't have great stats. And Frazier, I think, led the team. And Frazier had a 5-yard average. That's not great either. Etienne had a 5-yard average also, 609 yards, a 48-yard long, 9 touchdowns. Etienne had 194 yards receiving. Nate Frazier had barely any receiving. Let's look at how he did at Florida. He had 700 yards as a true freshman in 2022. He had 753 as a sophomore in 2023. And he had a 6.1 yard average and a 5.7 yard average. So he actually had better averages. And he had an 85-yard long as a freshman, 62-yard long as a sophomore. Performed and ran a lot better for Florida. And I do like Nate Frazier. Nate Frazier only averaged 5 yards a carry, so that offense was just not good. Just going to keep it real. Beck didn't do him any favors. That offensive line. Funny is Gerald Wilson and Tate Ratledge should be drafted. I think I got 4th round, 3rd round grades on them. As far as straight interior linemen, they're 2 of the best, I think. So that's surprising. But Taj Brooks at Texas Tech, I mean, he's been good for 4 or 5 years. He's the 5'9", kind of stout guy. But, ran a 4.52 is plenty good. I mean, it almost identical to Charbonnet, like I said. Except that 20-yard shuttle on that 3-cone is fucking insane. Almost a 4 flat, 20-yard shuttle. I mean, he's 214 pounds. And he's got the best 20-yard shuttle by far. I mean, like, by fucking 2/10. Next best is Montrell Johnson, I guess, at 4.29. Got DJ Giddens at 4.33. And then the 3-cone, only 2 people ran the 3-cone, which is really annoying also. I mean, shit, fucking 6 people, I guess, or 7 people ran the fucking 20-yard shuttle. Like, those are two of the most important drills. I like the 10-yard split because it shows burst, although running, accelerating as fast as you can towards the line of scrimmage isn't necessarily good if they're in the hole. That's what Le'Veon Bell thing kind of comes in, is patience. But when you do see the hole, the ability to burst and accelerate quickly, that's kind of what that shows. It's not really when you like go get the handoff, it's when you see the hole and you explode. So yeah, the 10-yard split definitely, I think, plays a factor. I obviously like the 40 because the home run ability and just overall top end speed is something I like, even though it's probably not real important to running backs because they're never running 40-yard sprints really. It's what can you do in 5 to 10 yards? Can you turn a negative run into a positive run, and then 3-yard loss into a 3-yard gain, or a 5-yard run into a 10 or 12-yard run? But I also like having the ability to take like a 7-yard run and make it 70 yards, and taking it to the house because you're just that fucking explosive. Basically, the 20-yard shuttle and the 3-cone and the 10-yard split are probably the most important things. Jumps really don't matter for running backs either. Bench, I like a running back that's in the weight room and that got some strength. I mean, if you can bench, I feel like you can run through arm tackles. You can got some durability. You can handle hits, stuff like that. But I'm not sure what number I'm looking for. Looking at these numbers, I'd say 15, 16 is fine. And you got R.J. Harvey getting 16. You got 18 getting 15. You got Taj Brooks getting 16. You got Raheem Sanders getting 17. Aaron Hampton getting 18. I mean, very few of these guys are getting over 20. You got Ollie Gordon at 12, which is very alarming considering he's a bigger back. That makes you think that 226 pounds is not muscle. And he also ran a 4.61 and a 1.6 10-yard split, and he didn't jump high, so yeah, he's lacking explosive all around. I don't know if he's injured. I feel like he's faster than that, truthfully. I've seen GPS of him at like 22.5 miles per hour. It could have been boosted and lied about. I also remember that 2023 tape, and he did have some breakaway ability, some home run ability, some shimmy. So I don't know what's going on with him exactly. I got him 11th. Maybe that's too high. But I'm holding out hope for him, I guess. At 15, right after Brooks, we got Tootin. 40-inch vertical, 10. That's insane. 5'9", 206 pounds. That's a good build. Good size, weight distribution. 22.86 miles per hour. 4.32 40. 1.49 10-yard split. But then that 20-yard shuttle was like the slow it was than Raheem Sanders, who did that at his pro day. He's also 217 pounds and 6 foot, and he's only a little bit slower. So I don't know about that either, but he looked good on film. He played pretty good. Probably the least 3-down capable guy is Jaden Blue right here, but he also might be one of the best receivers and the most explosive, biggest home run threat. He didn't run as well as I think he's capable of. I mean, he can run like a 10-200 or something. I mean, he's fucking fast. Maybe like a 10-100. He was a track guy in high school. But yeah, he showed good hands. I mean, he had some great receptions in the playoffs for UT. Over the shoulder and stuff. I mean, good ball tracking, good hands catcher, good route runner. Field and body awareness. On the sideline but not stepping out, making sure he gets his feet down, possessing the ball through the catch. I mean, he had some tough catches, important catches too. And that 4.38 40 and that 23 mile per hour top speed just kind of shows some of his home run ability. Probably the closest thing to Gibbs without having everything that Gibbs has, but like he is a good running back too. Like he didn't get the touches. He's not the best vision. and he is a little smaller or weaker. He's not gonna break as many tackles, but he can juke some people. He can make people miss. He makes people look stupid in the open field. He's definitely not just a straight line guy. He's got some side to side and stop and start ability. He's just hard to grade because we didn't run the ball great as a team. And Wisner looked really good. Maybe looked better than him, but I'm not going to hold it against him because I think the running back room at UT is really fucking good. You got C.J. Baxter, you got Jared Gibson, you got Quintavion Wisner, you got Jaden Blue. I mean, in the past, you've had Roshan Johnson, Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Brooks. I mean, all we have is NFL talent in that running back room. One reason why Tashard Choice got a job. So, I mean, we've done a good job of recruiting, but not just that, developing. So, yeah, I got him 14. I don't think I could put him higher. I could probably put him lower, but I think he brings something that nobody else really does. So I felt like 14 was as far as I could drop him because of his home run ability and versatility. And at the very least, he's going to be a good 3-down back or special teams returner or something. He definitely has some return ability, and I still like him as a running back. I mean, he can run between the tackles. He can, get handled 10 to 15 carries a game, and you probably wanted to get him 15 touches at least. So, yeah. 13, we got Cam Scatterboo, Arizona State. I don't know if he's Peyton Hillis. I don't know if he's Toby Gerhart. I don't know who he is or what he is, honestly. He looks really good on film. He had insane statistics. He's a really good receiver, too. He's a 3-down guy. He's got great contact balance, great leverage, great leg drive, always keeps his feet moving, always falling forward, doesn't go down at first contact. I mean, there's just so many things you can say good about him, but he didn't test. And I just don't know if that's going to translate to the NFL. So they were kind of a power team, too. So they might have just taken advantage of smaller defenses, smaller defensive linemen, and just kind of played bully ball a little bit. I definitely know he did. I wish I could look at like some analytics and see like average first contact, but either way, he was missed tackles force, yards after contact. He was killing it. I mean, but I'm wondering how many of those he was able to get. Like if he was getting touched after the line of scrimmage, where he already had kind of a head of steam, and it was kind of like getting that big ball, that train rolling. I mean, it's hard to stop at that point. But if he's getting touched behind line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage, that's a little bit of a different story if he put up that kind of production, because that shows that he's kind of a fast burner, that he doesn't need a long runway to get going. I think there is analytics for that. I just didn't find it. I saw the missed tackles for us. I saw the yards after context, all that, but I want context to that a little bit. I want to see, where he's getting touched, or where the contact's happening typically, or on average. I want to see how many yards down, like Saquon Barkley for one on the Eagles. Like he was like fucking 3 yards downfield, 5 yards downfield before anyone was anywhere close to touching him. That offensive line was just bullying everyone. Now Saquon Barkley's an amazing running back, but you give him that, yeah, that's insane. And I'm just curious if Cam Scatterboo had that kind of stuff. I know he was insane in that UT game though. I mean, he was willing his team to that overtime. He was not going to let his team lose. He did everything he could to keep his team from losing. It was very fucking impressive. It was fucking heroic. So, kudos to him on that. We got Devin Neal over here at 12. 5'11", 213, stout, good receiver. Been good for 4 years at Kansas, or 3 years. Didn't test as well as would have liked, the 4.58, the 159 10-yard split, but the jumps were very good. 37.5-inch vertical, 10.4 broad. I like what I saw on film. I'm not going to hurt him too much for that. It's funny that Neal runs a 4.58, and 21.78 top speed mile per hour, a 159 10-yard split. Everything's almost identical to Ollie Gordon, honestly, but we want to condemn Ollie Gordon for his combine. It's just a 4.5 looks better than a 4.6. I mean, 4.58, 4.61. You're talking about 3 fucking hundredths. A 159 10-yard split to a 116 yard split just looks so slow. I mean, no one else has a 1.6. No one else has a 1.59. Those are the two slowest on this list, but I think 40 wise too, they're the two slowest on this list. But Devin Neal, we're not saying anything bad about him. Ollie Gordon, we are, and he was fucking 13 pounds heavier, 2 inches taller. He's fucking almost half a year younger. He didn't jump as high, but yeah, I don't know. And that might be one reason. I think I did look at that, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to put him there. Oklahoma State had a bad year. They weren't able to do anything. They couldn't get no push. They also were behind a lot, so they had to abandon the run. And it looked like teams were just loading up the box to shut down Ollie Gordon. They wanted them to throw the ball. They wanted to make sure their quarterback beat them. They were not going to let Ollie Gordon beat them. And, well, Oklahoma State didn't win a lot of games because the quarterback could not beat opponents. And, they were able to shut Ollie Gordon down. That's not Ollie Gordon's fault. I mean, if a team puts enough bodies up there, and you need blocks, you need holes, you need leverage, you need to get momentum. I mean, it just is what it is. But there's still moments on film where you saw it, and you can go back and watch 2023. I don't know why it's okay to watch Burden's 2023, and like his 2023 is even that good. I mean, Ollie Gordon's 2023 is way better than fucking Burden's. After week 6, Burden's 2023 is the same as 2024. Ollie Gordon's whole 2023 is significantly better than 2024. So it's not the same at all, honestly, and yet you still won't do it. I don't know. Anyways, Ollie Gordon, number 11. I can't drop him lower. I like him. I'm gonna pull the trigger. Maybe it's the Texas. He was in Texas recruit or whatever. Texas high school. I don't want to say legend because he's only a 3-star recruit, but I feel like there's opportunity to gain value. I think people are maybe overjudging him. He's out of Fort Worth, Texas, Euless Trinity High School. He was the 2020 Male High School Athlete of the Year, according to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. He was a 4-star prospect. He only had 300 yards as a freshman, 5-yard average. He had 1,700 as a sophomore for 6.1 yard average, 21 touchdowns, 330 receptions or receiving yards on 39 receptions. That gave him 2,062 scrimmage yards and 22 touchdowns. 6.4 yard average, I guess. This past year, he had almost 100 less attempts in 12 games, so that kind of shows. He just wasn't in there. And there's a lot of times I didn't even see him on the field. I mean, they were behind. He was not the 3-down back, or maybe they're protecting him. Maybe he's protecting himself. He's like, I'm not going to hurt myself in this throwaway fucking year. I don't know. They obviously knew early they weren't competing for anything. They still played 12 games. Not he quit on his team, but maybe to some extent he was, a little hesitant, a little cautious in running. Maybe wasn't running with reckless abandon. Wasn't maybe lowering his head and his shoulder and really just grinding out yards and fighting for yards and, making himself, prone or victim to gang tackling and, any possible dangerous injuries that could come from that. Not going to take that away from him. And Mario Williams did the same thing. Jamie Clowney did the same thing. There are a number of guys who have taken off years or whatever to protect themselves for the next level for NFL. Problem is he just didn't have the stats. 4.6 yard average on 880 yards with 4.6 yard average on 190 carries, 13 touchdowns. He had 29 receptions for 179 yards, so he still had decent receptions, but just nothing going on. I mean, teams were just shutting him down. He went from 2,062 scrimmage yards to 1,059 scrimmage yards on 100 less plays or 100 less touches. So yeah. Anyways, number 10, Daniel Martinez, the Oregon State transfer who went to Miami, was really good at Oregon State. Liked him a lot at Oregon State. 6 foot 217, one of the bigger guys. 21.86 mile per hour top speed, a 4.5 140, kind of the same top speed, at least area as Ollie Gordon and Devin Neal. Significantly faster 40 though, borderline 4.4. 1.5 16 split, so faster there too. Jumped about the same as Ollie Gordon. Not a lot to say there. I like him. He's a good receiver too. Yeah, Brashard Smith. This is basically his first year as a starter at SMU. I believe he's a transfer though. Where was he at first? Sorry. Get this. Get this guy going. He was at Miami. Didn't do anything his first 3 years. 23 yards as a freshman on 6 carries, 22 yards on 3 carries as a sophomore, 132 yards on 9 carries as a junior. However, I guess he was a receiver. I don't know. He had 199 yards receiving on 14 receptions as a freshman, 308 yards receiving on 33 receptions as a sophomore, 263 yards on 22 receptions as a junior. So he was definitely a 3-down back or something like that. As a junior, he took one of those 9 carries, 80 yards for a touchdown, I guess. So that was the majority of his 132 yards. But then he transferred to SMU, and he's a every down bell cow. 1,300 yards, 235 carries, 5.7 yard average, 14 touchdowns. Also had 39 receptions for 327 yards and 4 more touchdowns. Very intrigued by him. He'll be close to about 22 years old, I think. 5'10", 194, 23.27 top speed. I think it's the third fastest, I guess. Yeah, you got 23.38 for Travion Henderson. But 4.39 40. Slow 10-yard split, actually. And not a great jumper. But I think he's a sleeper. I got a number 9. I got an 89 grade on him, so that's roughly like mid-second round, I guess. Maybe late second round. Because, yeah, 88 to 93 is late first, early third. So 89 is towards the bottom of that B tier. Let me put my face up now since we're past this range, so y'all can see me. So, yeah, I guess I got him as a late second, early third. But situationally, I could see him going mid to early second. This is just grades, though. With this depth, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think all these dudes are going to go in this range. And that's kind of what I'm going to get to when I talk about Ashton Jeanty and Aaron Hampton, and maybe kind of prefaced a little bit earlier. It's not my value, but just keep this moving because we're already an hour and 13 minutes in. Number 8, Raheem Sanders, South Carolina. He's a transfer from Arkansas, nicknamed Rocket. And, yeah, he looked like a fucking rocket at the combine. Top mile per hour speed in the 40 with a 23.55. He didn't run the fastest 40, but he definitely did achieve the top speed. Ran a 4.46 though, 217 pounds, and while achieving the top speed of 217 pounds too. That's impressive. 1.55 10-yard split. But he did the 20-yard shuttle and 3-cone at his pro day and didn't do it well. Also did the bench at his pro day and I guess the broad jump. I did okay there. He had a great sophomore year at Arkansas. He came in expected to be a top running back prospect in 2023 last year and just didn't achieve it for whatever reason. Arkansas was really bad though. He might have been a little injured. See if I can find him. I can't really find him right now. I could have swore he did better than this. There he is. So, yeah, he had 1,440 yards in 2022 at Arkansas. 6.5 yard average, 10 touchdowns, 76 yard long. He also had 28 receptions for 271 yards, 2 touchdowns, a 73-yard long. I mean, so he was extremely explosive at Arkansas as a sophomore. Then he gets injured in 2023. Doesn't have a good year anyways, though. 3.4 yard average, 62 carries, 209 yards. Transfers to South Carolina, 881 yards, a 4.8 yard average, 11 touchdowns, had a 66-yard long. Also had 27 receptions for 316 yards, 2 touchdowns, 43-yard long. I have him listed at 230. I don't know if he played close to that weight or not. But yeah, he was said to be close to 22 and a half miles per hour on the GPS in practice or in games a number of times. He was on Bruce Feldman's freaks list in 2023. He came with a lot of hype, and I'm not 100% sure what exactly happened at Arkansas. Let me see. Wikipedia doesn't have anything. Now, what is this? It's kind of unclear what occurred during that drive that injured Sanders, but it appears to be a lower left foot ankle limped off the field this September. I'm looking at this other one. December 2024. So in 2023, Sanders played in just 6 games, suffered a knee injury during the season, and after coming back from that, suffered a serious shoulder injury that required complex surgery to fix. Surgery required a bone graft and muscle tendon transfer to repair chronic and severe shoulder dislocations. So that's red flaggish, I guess, but he made it all the way through the South Carolina season and seemed fine. Won 2024 Comeback Player of the Year award alongside Utah State defensive back Ike Larson and Louisville quarterback Tyler Shough. I'm just gonna trust the tape. South Carolina didn't have the best offensive line. They didn't have the best offense, although I do like the Norris Sellers. He might be QB1 next year. He'll be a redshirt sophomore, I think, next year. He's a redshirt freshman this year, so he's draft eligible in the 2026 class. I don't know that he will go because he only has like 13 starts under his belt, and statistically 25 plus 25 to 30 starts is what typically leads to good NFL production or quality NFL starter. Most of the good quality starters had that many starts in college, so that's kind of become a thing recently. And then with NIL, we can make money and stuff. Well, that's a long thing to talk about the 2026 quarterback prospect when I'm doing 2025 NFL running backs. My bad. Number 7, we got DJ Giddens. Just good fucking player. Been a good player at Kansas State. Been pretty much what Kansas State has. He just had a really good year this year. Efficient, 3 down. Just multifaceted producer. Tested extremely well too. So yeah, I got a number 7. I had him around this range anyways, based on production and what I'd seen on film. I mean, UT was in the Big 12 the last 2 years, at least in 2022 and 2023, and I saw him those 2 years. I watched Kansas State occasionally, and I watched him a little bit this year too. And yeah, he just checks a lot of boxes. He always looked good to me. I figured he'd test well, and then he proved it. So I was like, cool. The top end speed was a little lower than I thought. 22.5 miles per hour. I mean, for a 4.43, and that's kind of slower. There's a lot of guys who ran slower 40s that had a higher top end speed, but still, doesn't take anything from him. And you see the jumps, almost 11 foot broad, and 10 foot 10 inches. That's crazy too. He's an athletic freak. So yeah, Dylan Sampson, kind of the same thing. The youngest one in the draft. Did Jalen Wright a year ago, and he looked good. Tennessee's been knocking these running backs out, kind of. He's a three-down guy. Heavy production. Maybe didn't look explosive. Or, let me go look at the stats. Exactly. He didn't look efficient. He didn't look great, I guess. I think that's more Tennessee. He had a 5.8 yard average, 1,500 yards rushing, basically, 22 touchdowns. It's ridiculous. He did have a 56 yard long, only 20 receptions for 143 yards, but I do think he's a good receiver. He only had 175 as a sophomore on 17 receptions. Let's see. It's this long. 53 yard long against Arkansas, 56 against UTC, Chattanooga, University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. Okay, not great. No killer stuff right there. So yeah, he doesn't have a lot of breakaway runs or big gainers, but he had a decent average, heavy volume, heavy producer. I mean, rushed for 100 yards in every game but 2. He had 92 yards against OU, 3.8 yard average. That was bad. And then he had 77 against UTEP on a 7 yard average. And the only reason why he didn't get 100 yards that game is because they beat him 56-0, so they took him out. Oh, and then in the playoff game against Ohio State, he had 2 carries for 6 yards. I'm not sure what happened there. If he got injured, I have to rewatch that game, honestly. That's awful. Oh, that was a breakaway. That was that 34-yard run, I guess, right there. I just saw a 34-yard run against NC State. He took like an outside toss and got the edge. The defender took a bad angle, and it was goodbye. It wasn't a toss, actually. It was a read option, zone read option, I guess. There's kind of a jet sweep, and goodbye again. Who's that? That's Mississippi State. That was his 33-yard run for a touchdown, I guess. They were a heavy run team. Nico couldn't really throw the ball or stretch the ball downfield. And I feel like, yeah, dudes were just loading up the box. Plus, I mean, the biggest threat with Nico is his legs, that read option, speed option, RPO. I mean, there's a reason why Dante Thornton only had like 40 receptions. Squirrel White and Brew McCoy, and all of them pretty much had less than 500 yards receiving. Yeah. Number 5, we got Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. Had an insane year. Didn't test great, but he's 6'1", 224 pounds. 22 miles per hour is more than good enough. 4.57, that's fine. You had fucking Devin Neal, 213 pounds, 5'11", running a 4.58, and slower too, 21.78 miles per hour. I mean, getting 22.22 at that weight is pretty fucking good. I feel like he plays faster than a 4.57. He might not be like a big home run threat, but he doesn't suck. So the 1.62 10-yard split maybe is alarming. That's actually the slowest. I thought Ollie Gordon had the slowest. I missed that one. He also got Jordan James down there with the 1.62 also. So, no, it's also kind of, I guess, where I was at with Ollie Gordon. I mean, they measure almost the same: 6'1", 226, 6'1", 224, 4.57, 4.61, a 1.62 10-yard split, 1.60. Caleb Johnson didn't jump. Those are just 2 guys. A couple of those guys, I guess. I don't care about the combine too much, the 40 too much. I do like to see it. I like to know. I wish Cam Scatterby would at least run it. I mean, if he got less than a 4.6 and had like less than a 1.16 yard split, that would be, at least got close to like 21.7 miles per hour. Of course, at a pro day, they're not going to get you the mile per hour data. Although you could easily get GPS or something. They wear GPS fucking shoes or monitors or whatever where they could do that. but it won't be the combine GPS, so it won't be like consistent. At least in the same environment, the same data collection and technology and stuff like that. I do like having that all under the same umbrella. Making sure they're all in the same area. Just consistent shit like that. Anyways, number 4 we got TreVeyon Henderson. Thought he'd go pro last year. Thought he would have been maybe the first running back taken. He went pro last year. Decided to come back. Ohio State goes off and gets Judkins in the transfer portal, and you're not sure what to think. You're like, oh shit, did he fuck up? No, he did just fine. They were just a hell of a duo. Fucking Batman and Batman over here. I guess I can talk about both at the same time. Henderson had a great freshman year. Was a 5-star recruit. All that jazz. Just an absolute home run threat. Good receiver, good in open field, extremely explosive. Gets any kind of daylight and it's goodbye, as you saw against UT with the screen right for halftime. That was game changer. The main thing about this, they were dominating that game and they were going to go into halftime, I think, tied or maybe losing. I don't know. Did UT hold them to 2 field goals and then score a touchdown? I don't know. I don't remember. But anyways, they end up going up 14, I guess. That's 14-7 or something. Overall, I mean, based on how that half went, UT had to consider that a win. But considering there was like 20 seconds left and they gave up that big play, that's hard to call that a win. I mean, you could have won at halftime tied. And how the game ended, yeah, that cost you possibly the game. It was fucking stupid. And I think UT was going to get the kickoff too. So you had a good chance of maybe starting the second half and having a lead really, really early. And that was taken away from you too. And Quinshon Judkins, I mean, very fucking productive at Ole Miss the previous 2 seasons, his freshman, sophomore year. I don't remember him recruiting. I don't know what he was as a recruit. I don't remember hearing about him as a recruit. He could have been a 4-star. He might have been like a low 4-star though. Did not expect him to test that well. Honestly, he runs with aggression, and I was impressed by him at Ole Miss. I liked him a lot. Like, he definitely vaulted up my list as a true freshman, and I was really excited about him as a sophomore. Though I don't think he did as good as a sophomore, but still, it's Ole Miss, and I still liked him. I still held him in high esteem. Then he transferred to Ohio State, and I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I thought it was going to kind of nerf both of them. I thought I was going to, judge Judkins and Henderson poorly or, hold that against them. But, after watching it and seeing them and then seeing them test, I was like, no, it was cool. It worked out. And, yeah, he tested. He's 6 foot 221 and runs a fucking 4.48, a 1.51, 10-yard split, 38.5-inch vert, 11-foot broad. 22.5 miles per hour. It's not the fastest, but that's more than plenty good enough, especially for someone's fucking 220 pounds. And the way he runs, the aggression, with the power, never goes down on first contact, always falls forward, legs are always fucking moving and turning. Yeah. He's, I don't know, I feel like he's RB3 for me. Comfortably. He's very similar to Marion Hampton, who's running back 2, and very similar to Ashton Jeanty, who's running back 1. That's why I got him 93, 92, and 91, 91. I got TreVeyon Henderson also at 91 because he's kind of the first change of pace running back, the first kind of like different type, more receiving, more, outside zone or, specialty back, I guess, where you're gonna maybe limit his touches, but you're gonna try to get him 10 to 15 either through receiving or jet sweeps or running the ball between tackles or wildcat or whatever. However you're gonna use him, but you're gonna use him a lot of different ways. He's not gonna be your primary bell cow type running back, and yeah, he's the first one that's like that, I guess. There's Brashard Smith, there's Jaden Blue, there's Tootin, there's LaQuint Allen, and there's a lot of dudes that are like that, maybe even ETN. So he's not the only one, but considering that how explosive he is and how talented he is, and he can be a bell cow. He could be a Gibbs. He's got like Gibbs type potential. Maybe I get him the 91 grade, but I still put him behind Judkins. I'll take the 220 pound, 6 foot dude. Running a 4.4 that runs like that. Over Henderson any day, honestly. And that's kind of what Hampton is too. Same exact measurements basically. They're so fucking identical. The mile per hour speed, 2/10 difference. The 40 time, 2/100 difference. The jumps are about the same too. It's like they're fucking twins, honestly. Hampton's a little bit better receiver, probably a little bit more patient, maybe a little more shifty, maybe has a little bit more burst. Judkins maybe has a little bit more power, maybe a little stronger. But yeah, it could be fucking 2A, 2B, honestly. It's hard to pick one over the other. They both were productive their whole career. Judkins at 2 different places. Ole Miss a little more impressive than Ohio State. Ohio State had a hell of an offensive line with Josh Simmons, Donovan Jackson. Oh shit! I might. Fuck! I feel like they got a center too. I can't think of the center's name. Shit. Oh. Seth McLaughlin. There you go, Seth McLaughlin. Sethy poo. Obviously, Josh Simmons got injured. They recruit well too, though. I'm not 100% sure of their whole depth chart. But they definitely got big bodies. They got a good offensive coordinator. They got vertical threats, so you can't load the box. It was a favorable situation for Judkins. So, and then you got Henderson there too to kind of share the load. I definitely hold the Ole Miss stuff to higher standard, especially considering Zach Evans was there and he beat Zach Evans out. Zach Evans constantly got beat out, honestly. Got beat out at TCU, got beat out at SMU. Did he go to SMU? I don't know. He got beat out at Ole Miss. I feel like he went to 3 schools. I don't think he was the starter at any of them. But Hampton doing it at UNC, same thing. There's no offensive lineman getting drafted at UNC. He had Drayton May a year ago, but this year he didn't. It was all him. And his stats improved, his efficiency improved, and he just really showed the fuck up. I think what he did was just as impressive what Genty did, honestly, considering the competition and the type of athletes he was doing it against. And then last but not least, Ashton Genty. What can I say that hasn't been said? Just an insane player overall. Makes plays all over the field. Insane contact balance, insane agility. Start and stop. Doesn't go down on first contact. Legs are always moving. Vision's insane. He's got the best vision in the class by far, probably. He finds that hole and he just shoots through it. He's extremely fucking quick. Got a lot of background noise. I don't know what's going on. Motherfuckers are whistling Dixie out here. But the competition, I don't know what to make of that. Sure, he did good against Oregon, but he didn't do shit against Penn State, and I didn't think he would. I figured Penn State would be his worst game of the season, and it was. He was definitely force-fed the ball. Now he's still at 7-yard average. He's still efficient with that volume, which is incredible. But I do think they were playing bully ball a little bit. I think they ran into some undersized, fast defenses, and they played power football. They gave him 30 carries a game. They were not going to not give him carries. It didn't matter how far behind they were going to keep giving him the ball. Not that they really fell behind often. But they never abandoned the run. That was always their game plan, and they knew that come the fourth quarter they were going to tire dudes out. Like they were not going to be able to stop them. That's just faith in Ashton Genty too, and his endurance. That he can take that many carries, that many hits, that much punishment, and he would grind it out. Happening against Oregon, he ended up having a good average but really he had like one 70-yard run. And he seemed to get that every game. There was always like a 60, 50, 60, 70-yard run that he would break. That would kind of just change. Like he was looking mediocre. He was looking human. Then suddenly, boom, he just busts one. It's like, oh, everything changes. I mean, now he's up to 7 yards a carry. He's got 200 yards rushing now. It's like, oh shit. But now that we're done with everyone, I don't care how good he is. I don't think he's as good as Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is like the best prospect I've ever seen. John Taylor's one of the top prospects I've ever seen. He's not John Taylor in my mind. John Taylor rushed for 2,000 yards 3 times for Wisconsin. And had great receiving. And then ran a sub 4.40. So, yeah, Jonathan Taylor to me, and he went in the second round. Now in that draft, one running back did go in the first with Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the late first. And then DeAndre Swift went ahead of Jonathan Taylor also. That was fucking stupid. GMs don't know what the fuck they're doing. There's no excuse for that, in my opinion. I don't know how the fuck you look at Jonathan Taylor and you're like, yeah, no, these dudes are better. Whatever. Well, you were wrong. You're fucking wrong. So you're paying for it now, I guess. Obviously, the Lions replaced DeAndre Swift with Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery, so they're fine. The Chiefs, they'll probably draft the running back this year, unless they want to go all in on Carson Steele or Kareem Hunt. But that being said, I'm not 100% sure Genty's the best running back in this class. I don't think he'll end up being the best running back when it's all said and done. Mainly because the first running back rarely is. I mean, you could have looked at Barkley before last year and thought Chubb was the better running back in that draft. And Chubb really was until he had that gruesome injury. And then, Barkley goes to the Eagles and, look at that. Situation's a big thing. I mean, Gibbs might be better than Bijan Robinson when it's all said and done. That's neither here nor there. Essentially what I'm looking at is this is such a deep class that, why would you waste a top 10 pick? I'm now seeing the Patriots at 4. Ashton Jeanty could go number 4 now. It was 6 to the Raiders. It was 12 to the Cowboys. 20 to the Broncos. 22 to the Chargers. If Jeanty is your guy, trade down. I mean, I know maybe it's not always you can get a deal done, but I feel like you can get any deal done if you want. I mean, are you going to get an amazing deal? No. But if you want Jeanty, take a fucking 2026 fifth and move down 4 spots. I mean, that might not be fair value, but you're still going to get the guy you want. You got a free pick. I mean, you're going to pick him anyways, right? I mean, shit, you can trade down twice probably and still get him. I don't think the Cowboys get him at 12. I mean, if the Raiders really want to get him at 6, the Patriots want to get him at 4. Maybe that's why. If you're really worried about the Raiders taking him at 6, maybe the Patriots can't afford to trade down. I don't know. But honestly, you're wasting the pick anyways. That's where I'm at. You have so many holes. You're picking 4th overall. You're picking 4th overall. You're picking 6th overall. You're way more than a running back away. What the fuck are we doing? Are we fucking serious? Come the fuck on. It has nothing against Jeanty. It's just the value of the position, the depth of the position, and the teams. The team needs, the quality of individuals in other more valuable positions that you're lacking. And the quality of those individuals or individuals in those positions in this draft that are kind of abundant. I mean, it's a good offensive line draft. You want to help Drake May? Protect him, Or it's pretty good at wide receiver. It's not great, but I would go Travis Hunter at number 4 overall if you really want. I mean, Kelvin Banks or Mimbu at number 4. Or if you're undecided about all of them, trade down. If they're all in the same tier, you can't then trade down and get whatever's left over. You don't always have to be the first one. I mean, if you're kind of indifferent or you can't really choose, then fucking trade down. get extra assets, which all y'all could probably use. You're drafting 4th overall. Let me remind you, you're bereft of talent. Your roster's a fucking joke. It's got tons of holes. And you're drafting 6th overall if you're the Raiders. Same fucking thing. I mean, get whatever you fucking can. It doesn't make sense to me, and it's nothing against Genty. The Cowboys, I mean, you remember when you were good, you had a good offensive line. You don't have that anymore. Like, draft the offensive line or get like a wide receiver too. I'm seeing Golden going there a lot. Maybe it's too early for Golden. Maybe that's not the right pick, but I mean, Mimbu, Banks, Campbell, I guess Simmons, maybe try to replace Nick Martin, get Gray Zabel. Maybe that's a little early for Gray Zabel. You could try him out at tackle. Maybe Gray Zabel can play tackle. He dominated everyone at the Senior Bowl all over at every fucking position. Just, run your team accordingly. Like, just fucking do a good job. Even if your running back hits, like, how much is he really going to change? I don't know. People are looking at Saquon Barkley. People want to look at Derrick Henry on the Ravens and other stuff. But, like, those teams were more complete. But those teams were running back away, so to speak. Like, you don't ever hear someone say that. It's always like you're a quarterback away or some way. But, like, they had everything on the field. And they both had dominant offensive linemen that could push the line of scrimmage with, pretty mobile athletic quarterbacks that defenses also had to respect, which really opened up RPOs and, read options. I mean, Saquon Barkley's holes are ridiculous. And even Henry, too. Those situations are different. The Cowboys are not a Ravens or Philadelphia Eagles situation. The Raiders damn sure aren't. And neither are the Patriots. So, like, to use those as examples is just not telling the full story. It's weak and it's lazy. All right? And it isn't a valuable position. Not that it's not valuable, just that it's easy to find guys to fill that position. You have Karen Williams, who's like a 5th-round draft pick. You have Alvin Kamara, who's a 3rd-round draft pick. You have Devon Achane, who was a 3rd-round draft pick. Like, you can find guys to do that. I mean, look at this fucking draft class. It was the fastest, most athletic, one of the most productive in college, and talented as far as being 3 down and having receiving and catching ability, as well as home run ability, ability to make people miss in a phone booth, start and stop ability, vision, finding holes, productivity and efficiency. Like, why would you reach on the position? Would you rather have like fucking Kelvin Banks and Caleb Johnson or Travion Henderson? Or would you rather have Ashton Genty and whatever fucking offensive tackle you can get in the 2nd round? I guarantee it won't be near as good as far as positional value as fucking Caleb Johnson or Travion Henderson or Dylan Sampson. So that's where I'm at on that. The idea that Ashton Genty would go in the top 10, top 15 is just idiotic to me, especially in this draft. I'm not saying he's much worse than Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs. What I am saying is that draft class and the running back position was much worse than this one. The gap between Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs was huge in comparison to Ashton Genty and Dylan Sampson, in my opinion. I know a lot of people have Ashton Genty as like a generational talent or like this premier fucking guy, have this awesome grade. I don't know how they're grading. I don't know what they're doing. I see the gap very small. Very small. I don't think Ashton Genty can do a whole lot more than Amarian Hampton or Quinshon Judkins. They're different. They have, different traits or different things that they're best at or they specialize at. But at the end of the day, the production or the benefit that you get, I don't think it's going to be extremely huge with Genty compared to Hampton or Judkins. Teams that typically reach for that position typically don't do good. And a prime example of that maybe is the Giants, who had a stud at number 2 in Saquon Barkley. But they weren't a running back away. They didn't benefit from Saquon Barkley like the Eagles did. And Saquon Barkley didn't perform for the Eagles or for the Giants like he did for the Eagles. His rookie year, yeah, he had a pretty good rookie year, but he was constantly injured, constantly hobbled, constantly missing games, constantly used incorrectly, constantly had to go against 8 and 9 man boxes because they wanted to make Daniel Jones beat him. How is that going to benefit your team? Just really, and then he maybe makes your quarterback look good because he's in soft boxes and he's a good weapon. And then you renew your quarterback with an obscene contract and don't give Barkley one and let Barkley walk. And then eventually get rid of Daniel Jones anyways. Great fucking job. Like, good fucking job, dog. Y'all do you. Y'all keep checks still gonna get written, still gonna get cashed. Y'all money in your pocket. You keep doing you. I don't know how y'all stay employed. I don't know. Talk about nepotism. I don't know how y'all are in this position, honestly. But congratulations. Hopefully you earn it, and it's not just me. It's like the fucking fans. Like, you have people that spend fucking a lot of money on season tickets, on jerseys, supporting you, believing in you, having faith in you, and you just do malpractice and a disservice year in and year out. It's a shame. No. Anyways, let's go to the full face cam. That's my list, and that's my theory on the running back position for the 2025 class. Overall, no, I'm not a fan of taking running backs in the first round, but there are exceptions to the rule for sure. And Jindy can easily go in the first round. I mean, if he goes to Denver, that's fine. I mean, Bo Nix is good. Sutton's good. Mims showed improvement. Franklin, I still believe in. You got Veli, who looks all right. You went off and signed Ingram. Originally, I had a tight end going there, Tyler Warren or Colston Loveland, but getting Ingram, you don't really need that anymore. Offensive line could always be something, but you're kind of in a situation where you can go best player available. I don't think you need to specific team needs or anything. And I do like Audric Estime personally, but getting some competition or something. I still believe with the depth of the running back position. I mean, I wouldn't do it personally, but I wouldn't hold it against them. I'm not gonna fucking say that was stupid. I mean, they're kind of in a position where they have the luxury of doing what they want. Chargers similarly. QJ came on a little bit. Ladd looked real good. You could use a tight end for sure. And I think if Loveland is there, that is the pick, considering Harbaugh and he had Loveland at Michigan and recruited him. And yeah, I think he'd be really good for Herbert and in that offense personally. And the depth of the running back position, I think you can address it in round 2 or 3 if it's something you really want to do and get in this draft. But getting at 22, I'm seeing some people have Genty and Hampton going in the first. Maybe, I guess. I'm not gonna act like I said, the gap is small. But that's where it kind of irks me now. Like, you're saying Genty's worthy of a first round pick. Now you're saying O'Marion Hampton's worthy of a first round pick. Was Hampton much better than Judkins? Are they much better than Henderson or Johnson? I mean, what are we gonna have 5 fucking running backs go in the first round now? Because that's where I'm at. Like, if we're gonna draft one at 22, then he better be significantly better than the guy we can get at, I don't know, fucking 58 or wherever the fuck our second round pick is. So I don't see that necessarily. That to me is not. Yeah, but what do I know? Just the best damn evaluator with the best damn evaluations. Can lead you to water, but I can't make you drink, dog. I'm just watching you, you're just dehydrated. Your mouth all dry, chapped lips, man, just all crusty and shit. I'm like, the water's right there. It's right there. It's right. Like, get yourself a sip. Sip you some water, dog. It's right there. You just dying of thirst. I mean, I'm not gonna put it in your mouth. Fucking germs and shit. No. Fucking drink yourself. It is what it is. I don't know. Y'all keep doing y'all keep fucking up these franchises, making fans' lives miserable. Just doing dumb shit. Been doing it since The league existed. Why would you stop now? Why would you stop now? Anyways, BTTN beats that thing right here. It's a BDE brand presentation presented by BTTN. Beats that thing network. Like and subscribe. Apologize if I offended you, but also not really because I don't give a fuck. That's why I do this, so I can speak my mind, so I can get things off my chest, so I can tell motherfuckers what I think. And I got receipts, time stamped, and I can throw it up in their fucking face when they're wrong. Like I told you, dog. Just one of many. We got so many more coming. Thank y'all. Y'all have a nice day. Peace out.